Yo, it's Super Crew Weekend. We're about to have lots of fun here in New Orleans. So, before we get started, I want to do a couple of housekeeping rules. For those of you that's coming out of town, coming to enjoy Mardi Gras, I got two simple rules for you. Rule number one, love and respect one another. And what I mean is, we all are different. We're human beings. We all experience different things. So because of that, when you see somebody that has the same blood flow as the one right next to you, which is pretty much everybody, just respect and love them and understand that they may be going through something and you can love on them instead of giving them some type of strife. I always see it all the time. There might be something to where you trigger them about anything. You could trigger them about something as simple as a ball. They might have been pelted with a ball in their face at Dodge. You know, they're playing dodgeball in class back in the day. So that's the first rule. The second rule is it's going to be really crowded. So make sure to mind your space. Make sure to mind other people's spaces. And it's a total different topic when we talk about territory and people building their forts and stuff like that. But remember, this is public spaces. This is not owned by anybody. Just respect and love one another. Love on each other. Respect each and one another's space. So let's get into it. It's Super Crew Weekend, man. Super Crew Weekend. So what does that mean? Let's define Super Crew first. What is a Super Crew? Okay, let's take Endymion for example. Let's take Bacchus. Let's take Orpheus for example. All of these are Super Crews, right? You need to have at least 1,000 members that are paying dues, and you need to have at least half of them, which is 500, riding in the parade. So, therefore, those three parades that I said, Endymion, Bacchus, Orpheus, they have more, way more than the criteria that is needed for you to be a Super Crew. So before we get to Bacchus and Orpheus, we're going to start with Endymion. Yes. Endymion. What is Endymion? Based on Greek mythology, it means the token of youth. It means that you're youthful forever. But a quick delve into that story is the fact that this young, beautiful shepherd by the name of Endymion was very youthful and very nice looking. I mean, he had goddesses coming to his table and he was seducing them too. But unfortunately, and this is where the eternal youth comes in, he tried to seduce Zeus's wife, and Zeus set them to sleep forever. So that's where the eternal youth came in. It came because he was punished to be youthful forever. So that's the backstory to that. Now let's talk about Endymion. There are 3,200 members in Endymion, and guaranteed so, at least 2,000 of them are riding. At least. They had 37 super floats ride in Endymion this year. And most super floats can hold up to 100, 200, sometimes even 300 riders, depending on the size of the floats. Why? Because Endymion has what you would call signature floats. Bacchus does also. Orpheus does also. And with those signature floats, they are massive. I'm talking about 10, 12 cabooses. It's a massive, beautiful set of work when you see these floats. So I've got my notes here, and we're gonna do at least 9 of them that we can talk about right here, right now. So let me hit the notes. All right, the first float of Endymion was the captain float. Ed Muniz started Endymion. Unfortunately, last year, he passed away. So in tribute and honor to the captain, Ed Muniz, they made a structure of him, his body, on the first float, you know, with a horse to his side. So that was the first float. And then the float came right behind it, which they just created, was a tribute float for Ed Muniz, which is totally beautiful. It was very nice looking, great tribute to Ed Muniz, and the legacy shall continue. It will continue, and they've got a ton of other amazing things coming up, I'm sure, for Endymion. So let's go to the next float, which is the Marshall float. I rode on the Marshall float in 2010 and 2011, which is pretty cool. It's really nice. Man, the Grand Marshal float is for that, celebrities that are honored up, celebrities, and they get to ride in the extremities, the parade, and do their thing and throw beads and have fun and ride into the Endymion extravaganza. That's another thing that happens. When the parade is done, they do an extravaganza. This year, they have Flo Rida performing as the main artist, which is gonna be fun. You're gonna be banging your head up and down until the last note is done with Flo Rida. He has nothing but hits, so that's gonna be really fun. So now, after the Grand Marshal float, which has two amazing video walls that I forgot to talk about, they have video walls on these floats now. On most of their signature floats, they have video walls. Not only the technology with the fiber optics, which came out about 12 years ago. It's a beautiful technology, and they're doing a great job with it. So you get to see a lot of beautiful things when it comes down to Endymion. It looks like Times Square. I'm going to be honest with you. Those lights coming off of those floats are immaculate. Let's go to the next one. Papa Joe's SS Endymion. Now, this was one of the first signature floats of that parade. And that signature float has been around since 1976. It's been around for almost, 50 years? It's been around almost 50 years, right? It's 2 years away from being around 50 years. That's absolutely amazing. It looks great. They kept it updated. They've put lights on it that looks really good. It's staying in a nice little float. I enjoy that. The next float is the Welcome float. The Welcome float has the Jester. This is when they started doing fiber optics. It looks amazing. It's immaculate. You got the shapes of the Jester's body going throughout the float with the fiber optics just lighting it up. There are over 2,000 lights on the fiber optics alone per caboose. There's probably 10,000 lights on this float, this float alone. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. So after that, we've got the Tidal float. The Tidal float has the theme, which is silence are golden, notating what happened when we just started movies back in the 20s and 30s with no sound. Silence are awesome. You've got a video wall showing it. You've got these fiber optics that's making it look real nice and pretty. It's absolutely amazing. You got the happy and sad figure, of Mardi Gras on it too. It's absolutely beautiful to see. Which brings me to the next float, which is a groundbreaking float in fiber optics. Old Man River. Oh my goodness. Do you see this? This woman is coming out the ocean playing the horn. The horn is full of fiber optics. Her hair is full of fiber optics. The ocean's full of fiber optics. Old man's eyes is full of fiber optics. It's a beautiful, beautiful float. The actual art done to it. It looks like art in motion for real. It is absolutely amazing. All of these floats are really amazing, especially when it comes down to the Super Cruise, because they are lit up. They look nice. They look beautiful. They really have you amped to want to throw so many bees off the floats. I mean, they tried to break my camera. So it's all good. It's all love. It's a part of Mardi Gras. You gotta protect yourself best way you can. And that's another tip. Have your hands up when these floats are passing, man. Keep them up. Don't put them down. If you put them down, you are liable to get knocked out like it's Mike Tyson punching you. That's what's gonna happen. So let's go to the next float. Ooh, a monstrosity. The Pontchartrain Beach float. It is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. No takes a time in history where they had a amusement park on Lake Pontchartrain over on the lakefront. Man, that's amazing to snapshot something in history that my parents were a part of. I wasn't a part of it. I'm sure a lot of people around my age weren't a part of it because it's not around anymore. But they snapshot a part of history that was really nice. And the way it looks, how huge they had to break it up in 2 parts. They had to break the float up in 2 parts. They have so many cabooses on it, it cannot turn properly unless they break it in half. That's how amazing and how big this super float is. It's absolutely the biggest float of Mardi Gras. It is huge. It's really nice. They got like, I think it's they got the laughing caboose. They got the they got the caboose with the Ferris wheel. They got the caboose with the haunted house. It's really cool. They did a really good job of notating a piece of history that is now indelible because of what they've done, which is really great to see. Captain S.S. Eddie, the evolution of another steamboat, which is the S.S. Eddie. And it's been around a while. They've updated it. It's really nice the way they did it. It's basically the S.S. Endymion on steroids, which is really cool to see. Really nice big float, super double-decker. And it also is super cool to see the spinning steamboat wheel on the back. It's like, this is the evolution of creating floats. You're seeing it in real time. And also, you had a couple of other signature floats that I did not really get well. The Endymion TV, ETV, they have that as a signature float where they're taking pictures of the crowd and video, and they're recording it for their, I guess, podcast or whatever they have to be able to, take and document, which is really cool. And they also have the Club Endymion where they promote the major artist that's going to perform in the extravaganza, which is pretty cool to see also. Without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. This was my recap of Endymion 2024. Silence are golden. It was really cool to see all those people enjoying themselves, having a great time, looking out. And that's one thing I really loved that warmed my heart. I saw kids getting beads, getting frisbees, getting footballs, getting lit up stuff like this in my hand, and they're just giving them to little kids to show them love and say, welcome to New Orleans. I hope you come back next time, because this is a beautiful place to be. This is a beautiful place to be around, and it was great to see. Up next, Bacchus, and I sign off. Beautiful people, have a beautiful, blessed one. Be healthy, be wealthy, do better than your best, be full of love. I love you all. Love one another. Take care of one another. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.